Okay, so welcome to our Hatha Slow Flow Tuesday. I'm getting into the groove of things and realizing that everybody's been asking for, and my body's been asking for slow stuff. so I'm doing 2 classes a week of slow and restorative lately, and I think that'll be well received. You can lay down. We're going to start laying today. And if you have any props that you need nearby, go for it. I've got my blocks as usual. If you have books or cans or toilet paper rolls, that works too. I've got my strap, so a tea towel works. And I've got my cushion. And if you have any kind of couch cushion or pillow or anything like that, that is also useful. So I will head to my mat and you can head to yours. And we will come to lying down on our backs. Awesome. So if you need to bend your knees at first and let them fall in towards each other, that's often a little easier on the low back. It puts the pelvis in a neutral position and allows things to just kind of readjust to the earth. Otherwise, you can bring your legs out in front along the floor and your hands wherever they're comfortable. We're going to close our eyes and settle into our bodies. We're going to settle into our mats and settle into our breath. As always, we set the intention to meet our bodies where they're at. On top of this is also my weekly theme, is to truly deeply listen to what your body needs. So as it applies on the mat, we check in with our bodies when we're getting into a new shape or pose, and we make sure that it's within our range of motion, our pain-free range of motion, that we're not feeling any pinching or grinding that does not feel productive to the body, and no numbness or tingling in the extremities. And we're also checking in with how we feel through the class. So if there's lightheadedness or dizziness, we hang back. So with every pose, we can go back a step in the pose, or we could even take a brand new pose that's more comfortable. So as we lay here, we make a commitment to our bodies, to ourselves, that we will check in as often as possible and communicate. Keep those lines open. And we forget about what anyone else has told us what we should do, have to do. The things that we think we should do, have to do. And in this practice, we feel our way through. We ask our body. Of course, there's some alignment cues that I will give you. But again, don't take my word for it. Make sure your body says yes first. And trust that it will keep you both safe and challenged and doing the practice that you're meant to do today. How many things off the mat are we told that we should do, that we should be doing, could be doing? And how much do we let that rule our decisions, our choices through the day? Let's make today's practice the beginning of a week of choosing what we need in the moment when we can. Let's take 3 big deep breaths here. Inhaling, filling up the body completely, and letting go. Inhale and release. And last one. And let it go. Reach those arms overhead and give yourself a stretch of any kind. You can wiggle if your body calls. You can draw one arm longer and then the other. You can reach through the left toes, reach through the right toes. And then release. Bring the knees up into the chest. And just give yourself a few circles here. So bringing the knees around, making circles on the ceiling, massaging out the low back, the sacrum, and then go the other direction. And then come back to center. Let's take that right leg, keep it in, reach the left leg out along your mat. It may or may not hit the earth, that's okay. Let that right femur bone settle into the hip socket. And then breathe and let it settle some more. You get to determine how close in that knee comes, how far away it is. And then bringing it away from you as far as you need to bring that left leg to the floor. Take the right knee in the left hand and start to cross it over the body for just a gentle twist here. So it doesn't have to come all the way to the floor. Just waking up the hips and the spine and come back to center. Draw that left knee in, hug them both, keep the left knee and reach the right leg out. Again, this leg gets to decide where it wants to be. And with every exhale, we let the thigh bone nestle into the hip socket. All of those muscles around the hip socket soften to let that leg integrate into the body a little more. And then we take that knee away from us, bring the right leg to the floor, bring the left knee in the right hand, and start to twist. Bringing that knee over as much as it needs to come to just get to that place where the body is curious. It says, oh, you can pause. You can always go a little bit further if you're asking for it. And then back up to the center. Take both knees again. Now take them away from you. Keep the knees in the hands, but the arms are outstretched. You'll feel a little more weightiness through the pelvis here. And just suspend those legs. We're going to take the arms out to the side. So the thigh bone should be about perpendicular to the earth. You're coming into a reclined tabletop here. Draw that lower abdomen in, draw those ribs down towards the pelvis. And we're going to hold here. And now, keeping everything just as is, keeping that lower abdomen drawn in, we're just going to start to tap, alternating the toes to the earth. So you'll notice with the legs in this position, the low back may be off the ground, the lumbar spine may be off the ground. That is okay as long as those ribs are drawing down. We're keeping everything contained. Beautiful. Let's keep alternating tap and tap. Beautiful. So we're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And with the arms out at the side now, we're coming into twists, but without touching the earth. So windshield wipers, knees come over to the right. We exhale, bring them back up to center. And then the knees come over to the left and back up to center. Nice. Let's keep going. Right. And exhale draws them back to center. Left. So not only are we activating our core, we're continuing to get a nice massage along that pelvis and the sacrum. Beautiful. Going back and forth. We've got 4 more, 3 more. We're also getting into our twisting motion and all the muscles required. And last one, nice work. Hug those knees in. And then reach the legs up to the sky. Point and flex the toes, reach the hands up to the sky. Open and close the hands. Roll around the ankles, roll around the wrists. And one more little core awakener here before we start to come up off the ground and get to more flow. We draw the ribs down. We activate that lower abdomen again. And this time, let's drop that left leg as far as you can towards the earth. We're going to lift the head, the heart, the shoulders, and reach out in front of us. Beautiful. Let's hold it here, keeping that abdomen in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Come back over. Let's drop that right leg. Left leg stays up. We reach and we hold here for 4, 3, 2, 1. And reach again. Nice. Hug those knees in and either rock and roll up to seated or roll over to one side and press yourself up. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips for some cats and cows. We inhale, open the front body, and exhale, open the back body. Nice. Keep going on your own breath, checking in, feeling a nice stretch after having worked the core a little bit as we open up into cow, and then expand through the back body as you open up into cat. Let's do one more full round of breath. Nice. Come back to neutral. Reach the right arm out in front of you. Reach the left leg out behind you. Hold here in a bird dog. Again, a little bit of core, just to bring the mind to that center as we work through, as we flow. If you'd like, for the last 4, we'll exhale, knee to elbow, inhale, reach it out. Exhale in, and inhale, reach. Really concentrate not only on the crunch, but on that expansion of the reach. One more time. And then release the hand, release the knee, other side. Reach that left arm out, reach that right leg out. Hold here, drawing those ribs in, lower abdomen. Feeling the heat building even when we're paused, even when we're going slow. For the last 4, maybe you come in, knee to elbow, and reach it out, extending fingertip to toes. In and reach. And then one more. And release the hand, release the knee. Coming into our shoulder flow, walk the hands forward a little bit. We exhale, bring the hips back and down. We inhale, draw the nose along the mat forward and press up to hands and knees. So come into this flow to your own breath. As you inhale, keeping the nose as low as you can, the hips as high as you can. The elbows come out to the side as you drag your nose along the mat. And then press up. Curl back, articulate through every vertebra, and pull forward. Let's do 2 more full rounds of breath here. And last one. Coming back to neutral. Let's come down onto the elbows. We're waking up every single part of the body here. This time, right leg comes up, right knee bent. We keep that core integrated, and now we're saying good morning to, or good afternoon to, that hip joint. So big circles with the right knee. We'll do 3 in each direction. Nice and big and slow. And then we go to the other direction. Just really trying to wake up the full scope of that hip joint. Getting things flowing on the inside. And now reach that leg back behind you. Stretch out through the heel. So there's a big long line from the head to heel. Activate that entire leg. Lift the heel a little further. And then release that knee down. Let's go to the other side. Left leg up, left knee bent. 3 big slow circles in each direction. So feel the muscles required here. And just keep breathing with it. 3 in the other direction. See what feels right in your body. What kind of activation feels right and what doesn't feel as great. Now press that left heel out behind you, head to heel, nice long line. Lift the heel a little bit more. Activate that leg and then come back to center. Nice. Staying on the elbows here. We're going to either come back and forth on knees, so nose towards the thumbs, and then pressing back into kind of a half puppy pose, or you could curl the toes under and lift those knees up off the floor into a dolphin. Same thing, inhaling, coming forward, And exhaling, coming back. So nice and slow with the breath. Noticing what's happening in this plane of movement. What are signs that the body isn't liking it? Besides pain, maybe you're holding the breath. Maybe you're gritting the teeth a little too much. Maybe there's even voices inside. No, no, no. Sometimes, yes, it's healthy resistance. Sometimes we gotta listen to that. One more time. Beautiful. Release those knees down. Set the hands under the shoulders and come into your first downward facing dog. Hips up, heels towards the earth. Knees can be bent or straight, depending on where you access the longest spine possible. From fingertips all the way out those sit bones, we feel a long line reaching up and back. And then next inhale, that right leg is going to step between the hands and the left knee comes down to the earth or a blanket or a cushion of some sort, or you could double fold your mat. So we're coming straight into this low lunge here. And here we're going to flow, inhaling, drawing the hips back into a hamstring stretch, and exhaling, drawing the hips forward. So let's do that 3 more times. Just moving through the cricks and the cracks. Last time, let's hold that Ardha Hanuman. So we're in half splits pose here. We're gonna draw that right heel back towards us to activate the leg. We're going to come up onto our fingertips to get even longer through the spine. And we hold here. Maybe you could start to walk your hands forward, keeping that long spine, diving over the leg. If you'd like something else, you can bring both hands to the outer edge of that right leg and walk them diagonally away from you, keeping that right hip back. Nice. And then walk back to the center, bend through the right knee, and this time press yourself up into a low lunge. So you could stay with the hands supporting you on your thigh, on your hips, at your heart, or sweep those arms up. Find some balance between drawing the legs towards each other and lunging those hips forward and down. Right hip is coming back. You can choose if the left toes are curled under or flat on the floor, depending on if you need more depth or more stability here. Play around. And then hands come down to the earth. We're going to pick up that back knee, step back to a plank pose, our first plank. This plank, we're coming down onto our elbows. Arms are going to stay parallel and hands on the earth if you can. Elbows right underneath the shoulders. And in our plank, we'll flow a little bit as well. So drawing that abdomen in towards the midline, we're going to dip the hips to the right and to the left. Now remember, plank can always be done on the knees as well. And the twist can be done on the knees as well. We're just twisting those hips right and left. We're going to go one more to each side. And then flip the feet over and let the hips fall down towards the earth into a Sphinx. Let everything go down. Let the hips fall. Let the legs be heavy. Let the tops of the feet root into the earth. And then with the elbows either right under the shoulders or slightly in front of the shoulders, arms parallel. Every inhalation, we're going to draw our hearts forward and up into Sphinx. Every exhalation, we're going to melt again. Let's do that 3 more times. And down. Inhale and release. And this last time, let's hold our Sphinx. So there's lots of action going on in the arms. They're pulling towards us as our body tries to lengthen up and out of the pelvis. And then we slowly release down to the earth, give it a shake, and make our way into a downward facing dog. Instead of down dog, child or puppy are always options. And then next inhale, left foot will step forward. It may take more than one step. Right knee comes down to the earth and we flow back into Ardha Hanuman 4 times. So drawing the hips back and forward. Nice. And then on that last one, as everything crackles back, for me at least, we draw that left leg into the hip socket. We lengthen through the torso. And then we decide if we can walk a little further forward, drawing the heart towards the toes, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, and keeping those hips in line. And then maybe we can walk both hands to the outer edge of that left leg and walk them out diagonally, making it a little more interesting. Checking in with yourself. And then coming back to center, drawing those hips forward into a low lunge, pressing yourself up, holding it there, here, hands at heart, or sweeping the arms up to the sky. We find balance between that muscle action between the legs for stability, but then that melting forward, grounding, fluidity. And then release the fingertips down. Pick up that back knee. Step back to a plank pose. This time on the hands. Holding it here, feeling the length from head to heels. Maybe you're on your knees. And then drop those knees down. Come all the way to the floor. Flip the feet over 4 times with the hands under the shoulders or by the ribs, elbows tucked towards the body. We're going to inhale into a baby cobra, lifting the head and the heart, and exhale, come down. So 3 more of those. So still the pelvis is grounded, the tops of the thighs are grounded, the tops of the feet are grounded. And this last one, we'll hold it up here. And again, just like in Sphinx, we're drawing our heart forward. We're lengthening through the spine. And we're finding strength and length through that long arc. Release all the way down. And come into your recovery pose, down dog, child or puppy. And whenever you're ready, everyone in down dog, and we'll look to the front of the mat, Step, walk, or hop forward into a forward fold here. Feet are parallel. Knees bend deep. And we sweep up through a chair pose and come all the way to standing. First time fully standing here, release the hands down and come into Utkatasana, mountain pose. Just feel the difference here. And inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Let's bring our hands to shins or thighs. Look up halfway, lengthen Ardha Uttanasana. Hold here. Find all four corners of both feet. Feel that line zipping up the back of your legs. And feel the core still integrated, still active. Beautiful. Exhale, fingertips to the earth. This time, that right leg steps back behind you first. Bring that right knee to the earth. We're going to bring both hands to the inside of the left leg. And we set up for lizard pose here. So we sigh the heart down. And maybe this is where we stay. Maybe the elbows start to bend. And we release the head and the neck. Maybe you have something to bring the elbows onto, a cushion or a block or some prop. Or maybe they come all the way to the floor. And just like that first pose when we were on our backs, and it feels like the thigh bone can nestle deeper into the hip socket as you breathe. I want you to evoke that same feeling here. For the most part, when the body feels integrated, when the limbs feel integrated into their joints, the body sighs in relief. Not to say it's not intense. Just check in with yourself. Does that feel good? And then press yourself up onto your hands. Walk that right hand to the right. Lean into the right hand. Twist to the left. Left hand on the back of the pelvis. If you feel good here, you could let that left knee open to the left. You could even reach back with that left arm. If it's part of your practice, you could even see if that right foot can come to the left hand by bending the right knee. And then we come back to center. We plant the hands and make our way into a plank pose. With knees off or on the ground, we flow down towards the earth. And then this time, Bhujangasana Cobra, any kind you'd like, so it can stay down in baby cobra as your heart's pulling forward, elbows pulling in, and shoulder blades on the back, neck long and mobile. Or perhaps you start to press into the hands. As long as the collarbones stay wide, the neck stays long and mobile, and those elbows stay in. No pinching or compression through any one part of the spine. And then come all the way down and come into your recovery pose. Right foot will step forward. Left knee comes to the earth or a cushion or your folded mat. Both hands come to the inner edge of that right leg. And maybe this is where we stay. We sigh our hearts down. We release the head and the neck. And we breathe. Maybe the elbows can bend a little or a lot. Then we find lizard, and we connect that femur bone into the hip socket as we soften all 360 degrees. Use the breath, use your mind, use this conversation between you and your body, forming trust. And then slowly press yourself up. Walk the left hand to the left a little, right hand on the back of the pelvis, and lean on that left hand, twist to the right. You might stay there. The right knee might fall out towards the right arm might reach back. Maybe we bend the left knee and take hold of that left foot if it magically appears. And release that. Come back to center. Pick up that back knee and step forward, this time into a forward fold. Release here. Feet parallel, bend the knees deep. Come on up, hands to the heart, into a chair pose, Utkatasana. You could stay here, you could bring the arms out in front, or you could reach them up. As long as, again, the neck is long and mobile, everything in your body is saying okay. The core is active, lower back isn't overarching, and the heart is open. Inhale all the way up, and exhale, fold. Beautiful work. And again, we look up halfway, lengthen Ardha Uttanasana, plant the fingertips down, step the left leg out behind us, and once again, bring that left knee to the earth. This time we're gonna press ourselves up, reach up through that left arm. This might be where you stay. Draw the right hip back and then lunge forward. You could always take that right hand around the left wrist too and lean to the right. If you're ready to take this a little further, start to reach forward with that left arm and maybe bring the left elbow to the outer edge of the right knee. So we're twisting to the right. You might bring the fists together or the palms together in prayer. And then start to press the palms against each other as you twist around your core. This may be where you stay. Make sure the neck is long and mobile. If you're feeling really good here, you could always pick up that back knee off the floor. You could also always spread those wings as well. And then slowly unfurl from there. With the back knee up or down, one more hamstring stretch where we bring those hips back and fold over that front leg. And then bend. Option to flow through another heart opener or meet us in the recovery pose. Coming into Sphinx, baby Cobra, or adult Cobra. And then child's or puppy or down dog. Plant down through the hands, curl the toes under. Everybody come into down dog if you weren't already. Left leg's going to step between the hands. Right knee comes down, and we do the same thing on this side. So we press ourselves up, draw those legs towards each other, and lunge that pelvis forward. Maybe we stay here, maybe we reach that right arm up to the sky. Drawing that left hip back. Maybe the left hand coaxes that arm towards the left as you arc. Maybe we start to reach forward with that right arm and twist. Right elbow to the outer edge of the left thigh. Hands or fists come together and we find our center. We press the hands towards each other, heart towards the thumbs, trying to twist around that midline, finding the stability through the legs. Hold here, or bring that back knee up off the ground, if that's in your practice. Always an option to spread those wings. And then gaze at the earth, bring the fingertips to the earth. With that right knee bent on the earth or straight, we extend through the left leg and come to another hamstring stretch. So with that back heel off the ground and the back knee off the ground, this is a modified pyramid pose. Otherwise, it's back into Ardha Hanuman or half splits. And now bend through that front knee. Gaze forward as you step that back leg forward. Feet parallel, all four corners of the feet in the earth. Fold. Bend the knees nice and deep. Come into a chair pose with hands at the heart. And now, same thing here. We're going to twist left elbow to the outer edge of that right thigh. The body, the torso, is either parallel to the ground or slightly up, head above the hips. And we press the palms together, keep the knees in line, give them a check. Maybe spread the wings. And then come back to center. Do whatever you need to do before the other side. Next, exhale, right elbow to the outer edge of that left thigh. We draw that right knee back. We press the palms together. We twist. Maybe we spread the wings. And come back to center. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, release, hands at the sides. Utkatasana. Beautiful. Before we come down, 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 one more little flow here, nice and slow. Bend into your chair pose, hands at the heart. As you exhale, twist to the right, left elbow to the outer edge of that right thigh. Maybe, just maybe, to test yourself, you bring the weight into that right foot, lift up the left heel. Maybe, just maybe, you can step that left leg back, drag it back, come back into that twisted lunge. Maybe you can slowly come back to your chair pose. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, back down to chair. Try it on the other side. Exhale, twisted chair. Find your grounding. Ground into that left foot. Maybe lift up the right heel. Maybe that's where you stay. Lots of weight in that left foot as we step that right foot back. Twisted lunge. And with grace and flow, we step that back foot forward. We unwind and we reach all the way up. Beautiful. Exhale, fold forward and let go. Look up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back and come into a child's pose. Knees apart, toes together, hips down towards the earth. Let go, release. Feel everything integrating into the midline and letting go out onto the floor. Come up onto the fingertips and walk them over to the right. Keep that left hip back and maybe even that left hand comes over the right hand as you stretch out, lengthen through the left hand all the way out to that left hip. And then come back on the fingertips and walk yourself back through center over to the left. Same thing here, keep that right hip back. Maybe right hand crosses over the left hand as you arc towards the left. And back through center. Come all the way up and come to seated. Bringing the legs out in front. Finding your sit bones. We're going to draw the right foot into the inner left thigh. Left leg is straight out in front of you. We draw the belly button towards that left knee as we take ourselves for a walk forward. So this is where a tea towel or a belt may come in handy, where you can loop it around that foot to help your heart draw forward without shrugging up the shoulders. Beautiful. One more round of breath here in Utkatasana. And come all the way up. Open that left leg out towards the left on a diagonal. Draw the right heel in towards the pelvis a little more. And this time come diagonally down that leg. Again, you can use your tea towel or belt here to loop around that foot. And just lean, arc over that left leg. The right hand can stay down at the hip, or it can reach overhead, or maybe even behind the head to support the neck and the head. Keep opening that heart up. If your arm is overhead, there's also the option to pass that belt over. And slowly come all the way up. Plant the right hand by the right hip. And we're going to press onto that right knee, coming into a modified side plank, reaching up through that left arm, maybe even over. And then release down. So many pops in my hip today. And then right leg out front, left foot into the inner right thigh. with your belt or strap or tea towel. Maybe you loop that around your foot. You draw the belly button towards the knee and start to lengthen forward, hinging at the hips. Keep the breath flowing even if the body's still. Always, there's always flow and movement. One more round of breath. And then we come all the way up. Open that right leg to the right. Bring the left heel in towards the pelvis more. Maybe looping something around that right foot. And starting to go diagonally down that right leg. Elbow bent. Stay here. Hand behind the back of the head. Arm over. And as before, you could even pass the belt into the left hand. Continue opening the heart up. And then all the way up to center. Release the belt. Plant the left hand by the left hip. Come up onto the left knee. Plant down through that right foot. And modified side plank. Maybe even reaching over your head. And release down. Beautiful. We're going to make our way all the way down to our backs again. Coming down. Taking a moment to pause and readjust. Maybe the knees need to knock in towards each other to allow the pelvis to settle. Once you feel readjusted and your back has released into the earth, walk the feet towards each other, and this time knees come out towards the side into a reclined Uttanasana. If this doesn't feel safe for your inner thighs, you can have pillows or blocks or toilet paper rolls to catch the thighs as they come out. And we'll bring both hands either to the abdomen or one to the heart and one to the abdomen, or even both to the heart center. And we lie here and breathe. With the hands on the body like this, we're nourishing ourselves. Feeding ourselves, connecting. The better our relationship with our bodies, with our guts, with ourselves, the more messages we'll receive, the clearer the messages we'll receive. And then in every situation, you can check in. What do I need right now? What space or consciousness is required in this circumstance, in this situation? And what creates more? slowly draw those knees towards each other. Do anything you need to clear that. Maybe some windshield wipers, maybe a hug, maybe a happy baby. And then slowly make your way into your final relaxation pose. Whatever that might be. So it might be Shavasana on your back, palms up, legs out in front, heart open. But it may also be on your side or on your front or legs at the wall or draped over a couch. You can ask your body which one. We don't judge the answers that come to mind. Remember, there's nothing that you should have to do right now. Once you're in final relaxation, close your eyes again and come back to the space within. Come back to the sensations around you. Watch as things settle back into place. Sometimes the things our body needs are the cliche things. Food, water, sleep, self-care like bubble bath, and the niceties. Sometimes it's movement. Many times it's peace and calm in some way. But let's not let the things we know limit us. Sometimes it might be a bag of chips. Sometimes it might be to zone out with some TV. But time and again, you'll notice the really nourishing things will keep coming back to you. Trust. Trust in your wisdom. Your body's wisdom in the process. Make sure you thank yourself before you leave today. If you can stay longer, go for it. I thank you for joining me, whether you're watching this live or later. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. Namaste.